Yo, 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 what's happening, people? And welcome back to Neeks Sports. We got a special on today. We got a special today. Today, as you've seen, we're going to talk about Mikel Arteta. I think it's about time. I think it's time we dissect the man, the myth, the legend, um, who's now our manager, not head coach. He's our manager, as we made known at the start of the season. And we got a couple. I got a couple of guests on Neeks Sports. So they'll introduce themselves as they come on. Before we start, guys, make sure you're if you like this video, give it a like. Make sure you share the content. We're gonna go in, get in the comments as well. Let me know what you think about Mikel Arteta, what thoughts you have on it, any questions you got for the panel as well. Send them in, and I'll ask them across the board. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. Yes, yes. So we're live. We're in. We're ready now to go in about Mikel Arteta, and I've got a couple of Arsenal fans here to go through it with. Um, First of all, I've got a gal. Gal, how you doing, bro?
I'm kicking it, man. I'm kicking it. Looking forward to the weekend. Not necessarily the game because I know what might happen, but hey, we'll get into it. We'll get into it.
Yeah, we will. We'll definitely get into it. And down below we got Charmer. What's happening, Charmer? You good?
Yes, I'm good, man. I'm
Good.
good. Away goal in it, so gotta take it.
Away goal. We got an away goal yesterday.
Should
Listen,
be
I'm not
more,
gonna.
but
I'm not gonna go too much in. I'm not gonna go too much into yesterday's game. Just because it'll do my head in. And I've dissected it, looked at it, and yeah, we ain't been that great. So yeah, let's just switch it up and let's just we'll go straight into essentially the reason why I've got the guys on the panel and put this out. I just felt like we're sort of over the midway stage of the season now. We've definitely already had two contrasting um points of the season for Arsenal, and I'm sure we all know the start and where we are now. If anyone else does feel that um, we've had contrasting starts, so just big up everyone in the chat. We got Dupe here. Big up Dupe for joining in. Wilson. Yeah, man, we're all good. We're all good over here. So essentially, we'll start basically with the main topic, which is Mikel Arteta. Now, obviously, he became Arsenal manager. Um, in December last year, I believe. No, well, as in 2019 last season. So he's been here now, well over a year. Some may say extended his welcome. Some may say not yet proved himself enough. But we're gonna just talk about basically our thoughts on him and as he's done. Now, I kind of we'll touch on last year, but essentially, we want to kind of go from this season because last season is done. We know what we've done there. We got an FA Cup, and we're moving on. But this is his season. This is the season that he was given by the board to get rid of players, to buy players as well. So, again, I want to start with you. Straight off the back, what was your thoughts on Mikel at the start of this season? At the start of the season, what was your thoughts on him as a manager coming into the season?
At the start of the season, I said to myself, based on the fact that we did not get Houssem Ottawa, but we got Thomas Partey, he should either win the Europa League or get us into the top four. And if he did not get that, I heard reports that even if we finished 10th, he would still keep the job. So my stance was, at no point would I even consider sacking him until the until the beginning of next season. At my head, there was nothing you could tell me that was going to tell me he was going to be sacked. I was backing this guy until the next summer when he can get his players out, because he said he wanted players out the door. He didn't get that, so I'm giving him time to get players out the door. He said he wanted to build a culture. I'm giving him time to build a culture. He said he has non-negotiables and players he wants to get rid of. If they don't listen, he's starting to do that finally with Lucas Torreira, Guendouzi, Socrates, Kolasinac, Ozo, and everybody else. And finally, all this Arteta in, Arteta out. I've parked myself in the Arteta in category. I'm there. And the reason why I'm there is because I can see light at the end of the tunnel, and I can see that he's trying to build something.
All right, and we'll get into that. We'll get into that a little bit more detail. But Charma, do you want to go first on where you saw Arteta at the start of start of this season?
Start of the season, I'm not gonna lie, I was positive. Coming off FA Cup, coming off Community Shield, and I know you said we shouldn't take that into too much consideration, but you do ultimately. I liked how we played in big games last season, particularly City, Liverpool, and Chelsea, of course, at Wembley. I liked how we started against Fulham. I liked a style of play. I saw a style of play. Playing out from the back, switching it quickly, getting it to Oba, isolating against against a right back, and that classic Oba Thierry finish. I saw something there. I saw a way of playing. I saw an idea, and that quickly fell apart.
Yeah.
And that fell apart whilst we're still in his what should have been his honeymoon phase. So at the start of the season, yeah, I was positive. If you asked me in August, September time, I was very positive. Even after we lost to Liverpool, you know, it was a bit boring, always losing those type of games. But ultimately, for the whole season, I was a positive. I was in a positive mood. We got Partey, as a gal said, didn't get a war. Okay, I didn't expect us to get both signings. Realistically speaking, this is Arsenal at the end of the day. So we got one out of the two. I thought Willian could do something for us in a creative outlet. More for me. I was positive. I'll be honest with you. I was positive. I thought that his mentality, his tactics was starting to be embedded into the team. I thought that there was a positive energy around the squad. See how everybody reacted. The players on social media reacted when Oba signed the thing. And I don't think that was fake. I think that was genuine. So yeah, I thought there's good vibes about the place. I wasn't expecting us to challenge for the title at all. I thought, you know,
what was your preseason prediction for Arsenal? I thought Europa League. What was your
realistically? I thought that we would finish 5th or 6th realistically, but I thought by this point, what are we? February? I thought that looking at the table, we would be 5th, 6th, maybe 4th if we're lucky. Do you know what I mean? You know. In and about it, look at where Everton are right now. I thought would be kind of where Everton are. Not Leicester, Everton. That's where I thought would realistically be. And I would have been happy with that at that time. And I didn't think that was a wild thing to ask for. I think thinking that would be their 2nd, 3rd, I think that would have been wild. Europa League, I expected us to, you know, we're in the knockouts. Ultimately, we're in a strong position going into the 2nd leg. So again, I expected that.
Yeah.
So it's the league. Ultimately, the league is the judge of a manager, and where I thought would be was realistic at the start of the season, in my opinion. Where we are now, it's a different story. We'll get into that, I know, but I thought I would be looking at 5th or 6th.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So interesting. I'm going to go with what I think, and a couple of guys have mentioned it in the chat already. Please tell me it isn't true that Arteta promised Willian a UCL medal.
I like him.
The reality is we got to look at the facts. We heard that that Arteta came in and said, "Listen, I'm bringing Willian in. We're going to get in the Champions League next year, and I'm aiming to win the Champions League in 3 years' time." That's what he said. And you know what? People could laugh at it. I wasn't mad at that exact statement, just because I do believe when you sign a player, you got to gas them up. If you go in and say, look, we'll finish in the top 5, listen, next year we'll try to get Champions League. We might not, but the year after, 100% we'll get top. You know what I mean? You're not really gassing them up. And if you want to sign a player, you've got to gas them. Now, it may not be true. He may not even necessarily believe it himself, but you got to come with some sort of vim in the summer when no games have been played. Everyone's on 0 points. You look at the league and you think, all right, you never know, innit? So
look at the league and we're top, bro.
Exactly. We're top. No games played. Arsenal sitting top comfortably. But the reality is, and actually after the first game, we played Fulham at home. We played Fulham away at 12:30 on a Saturday. Therefore, we were top before anyone else was playing football.
Stop the count, bro.
So we've been top.
Do that.
But yeah, no. I mean, realistically, for me personally, I felt like Arteta, I felt like obviously on the back of the FA Cup win, there was something to go on. There was a style of play he was trying to implement, trying to bring in the players that he wanted to. the Willian thing. I was a bit baffled in the David Luiz contract extension, but I kind of got it in terms of the experience in the squad. But that was questionable. But then, as you said, brought in Thomas Partey, which we didn't think was going to happen 2 days before the deadline. Realistically, I was stressing on deadline day, thinking that it weren't going to happen. So he did manage to get a deal over the line. Didn't get the hour deal over the line, and because we didn't get the hour, I remember saying at the time, because we didn't get the hour deal, I just felt like we wouldn't have enough going forward to finish in the top 4. So then, when we made our predictions start of the season, I said fifth, or I think I said fifth in the end, and hopefully a Europa League win. I mean, at the time I didn't say hopefully. I was a bit more confident. Now I'm like hopefully a Europa League win, because I felt Europa League was going to be our best way to get back into the Champions League. However, look, I've been saying that for about 2-3 years. Under Wenger, under Emery, under Arteta in Europa League, that's our best chance of getting in. But it seems like we always fall short every time. So Europa League is never a given anyway. Like with the teams, you never know who's going to drop down from the Champions League. It's never a given. But I just felt like there were 4 teams, Man City, Liverpool, Chelsea, and Man United, that were stronger than us in terms of squad. And there was a lot of people that put Spurs ahead of us as well. Pre-season, a lot of the pundits thought Spurs will be, in the top 4 with Jose at the helm. But yeah, that was my pre-season prediction. I felt like we would do that, and I was going into the season confident. And then we started not too bad with 2 wins, Fulham and West Ham. We started okay, and you just felt like we got 2 wins on the board. This could be the start of things. And then from September to December, we essentially threw away what we wanted to do for the season in the Premier League. That's how I felt. I know, Egal, you've parked yourself firmly in the Arteta in camp, but at the time that we lost to Manchester City in the League Cup, and I watched your video, bro, and we were far worse than we are now. The reality is, in December we were in a relegation battle. That's a fact. We were being told.
Can I say
we
one
were being
thing
told to watch Brighton and Fulham. Yeah, go on.
After Man City in the League Cup, that run of games we were on, it was horrendous. And I think after that game, we went on to lose to Everton. Am I correct? Or was
yeah.
So at that point, I'm still where I am. I'm obviously back in Arteta, but I'm saying to myself, if this run of games continue, he's a dead man walking. If we don't turn our form come the new year, I don't see how he's going to survive. If we don't get Buendia to save our season, I don't know what I'm going to do. That's the thought process that's going through my head at that point. If you remember, the whole fan base was saying Buendia is the solution to everything that we're missing. Now we look kind of silly. The club didn't go make that deal. Yeah. We didn't get Basuma. We didn't get Max Aaron. We didn't do nothing that we expected. What we did do is we got a backup goalkeeper. We got a backup in Odegaard for Smith-Rowe, and Smith-Rowe got given a chance, and we got rid of a lot of dead wood. So we did do something in the January window. We did not sit on our hands. The January window was not a success, but it was progression based on the past couple of years where we wouldn't do anything. So yeah, I just wanted to stop you there quickly.
Yeah. I get that, but that's essentially where we're gonna stop there. We're gonna start there anyway, because by the time we played Everton and we lost that game, going into the run that we had in the end of December, I remember speaking about it on the podcast with Neeks and saying, he said basically, like we wasn't even thinking at the Chelsea game. We were probably looking at the Brighton West Brom game, thinking he needs to pick up wins ASAP if he's gonna save his job. There were. Let's be honest. The call was loud for Arteta out. The call was loud. It was trending. There was capital letters in there. There were all the fan channels. Arsenal fan channels were basically in the camp of when we lost to Everton. That was like the majority of people were done. They were done. Chalmer, what camp was you in at that point?
Arteta out, but you know this. You asked me this. You know this. Listen, for that period, from. I would say the one that really, really did it was probably the Wolves game. Remember when we lost to Wolves 2-1?
Yeah.
From then on, I said we are everybody's favorite team to play in the Premier League right now. Anyone will not fear a game against Arsenal. In fact, if you're on bad form, you're probably thinking Arsenal home and away. That's the game you want. Now, I've seen us be in bad form. There's never a time I can say that everybody wanted to play Arsenal. There was always at least the fear that they'll show up, and even if they're on a bad run of form, they'll out-football you, they'll outplay you, they'll turn it on, and once they turn it on, you can't live with them. And there was none of that, not a hint of that, not a hint of that from the fans, not a hint of that from the opposition. They didn't set up in any way fearing any type of attacking threat from Arsenal. I'd never witnessed anything like that in my life. Not just the doubt, even under the worst days of Emre, I thought this lot can still, if they really want to, they can still turn it up and do you know what I mean, do a madness. There was not a hint of madness in that team for about 3-4 weeks. That Chelsea game floored me, bro. The Chelsea game floored me. I had no idea where that come from. So when I'm looking at a team, thinking this is everybody's favorite team to play in the Premier League, Ramsey, you're right. We were in a relegation battle. I know what relegation battle feels like. Stress, bro. So at that time, I couldn't justify Arteta continuing because it looked like to me, Chelsea, I had as a given that we're going to lose. Not even going to be upset about it. It's standard. They're a better team than us. And I thought Brighton, West Brom. I didn't think we'd lose to West Brom, but I thought if we lost to Brighton, he's got to go. Because now we're legit losing to relegation. We're in 6-pointers. Relegation 6-pointers and losing them. So at that point, I thought if he loses that, he's done. He's got to go. There's no way anybody in the club can justify it. So yeah, in December, I was Arteta out, and I was just waiting for the board. I was waiting for a situation to come up where Edu would have to be Arteta out because it wouldn't make sense to keep him in. I didn't expect the turn of form that we experienced. Now, Ramsey, you said something interesting earlier that in that period we threw away everything we wanted for the season. We went on a good run. 5 wins in 7, 2 draws, something like 14 scored, 2 conceded. Under any normal circumstances, that's form. But that form took us from 15th to what, 9th or something like that?
Yeah.
We were so bad for so long that it literally, even now, it will take the type of form City are on for us to end up in the Champions League. And that's my biggest issue with it right now, is that we destroyed our season to the point that excellent form won't do it for us now. Another run like that is not really, realistically, another run like that isn't going to shoot us back into the race for the top 4 because the teams above us simply need to win 2 or 3 games to keep the distance.
We're going to look at the calendar. We're going to look at the calendar in a bit anyways, right? But if you look at the league table right now, bro, if we just beat Brighton, if we just beat Burnley and one of the Wolves games, just give us one of those 2 games, we're tied on points with Liverpool. But
we didn't win them.
I know, but you're making it seem like you're making it seem like we're 13 points from Liverpool. No.
But my point is, we went on an excellent run of form. Yeah, we agreed we went on an excellent run of form, and still we're what, 8 points away from 4th.
We should still be beating those teams, though. We should be beating those teams that we did beat. And
100%.
But the damage of the season's already done. That's what I'm trying to say. That the damage of the season is already done. It was done before. It was basically done before.
When was the season over for you?
Started.
When was the season over for you?
Realistically, Burnley at home.
Burnley at home. That's when that own goal that we conceded. Aubameyang's own goal. That was when you finished, and you're switched off from the league now.
Essentially, yeah. It's not even about me personally being switched on from the league. I'm saying that what it takes on the football pitch, park my opinion, what it takes on the football pitch for us to save our season. Saving our season is getting back into Europe, getting back into Europa. Because I'm not interested in the Conference League, to be honest with you.
I'm not trying to challenge you directly.
Is getting back into Europa.
I'm not trying to challenge you. I'm just saying, were you not impressed with the run that we went on? And did you not think that was sustainable? Or did you always think, you know what, 1 loss and we're back in crisis?
I'm not even back in crisis. Like, I didn't think we were in crisis when we lost those back-to-back games. I'll be honest with you, I didn't think we were in crisis. I thought that this is the reality of where we are. That for us to come out of this hole, I was aware that whole time that we needed to go on the type of run that honestly we haven't gone on since we were. The last time I can remember us going on a type of run that we need
Leicester season
was the Van Persie season. Remember when we closed the 10-point gap on Spurs? That's the last time I remember us going on a type of run that we need now.
Yeah, and I think this is the reality of it. And this is just some stats that I pulled up this week in terms of the Premier League only, right? So if you look at the left side where it says the first 14 games going down, right? These are the stats that we were producing in those times. This is up until the Everton game, up until and including the Everton game, right? So we scored 12 goals and conceded 18 at that point. Averaging about, and then these are the averaging about per 90 minutes, 3.2 shots on target, an XG of 1.1, shots on target, shots faced 3.5, and XG faced 1.18. Now at that point, for me personally, to be like in that position where we were in December, in a relic like, and I did fight the fight for Arteta for a long while, but the reality is, as we kept losing more and more games, I was struggling to hold on to him because of the how bad our form was going into that Chelsea game. And so it became the fact that it was gonna become inevitable unless this form turned around that Arteta was going to be sacked in January at least. Like if we lost to Chelsea, Brighton, West Brom going into Palace and Newcastle, you start to think, when's our next win going to come? And we did. We literally weren't sure we were going to win the game. And then all of a sudden, we walk into the Chelsea game, and we hear that Willian and David Luiz aren't available for the game. And obviously, Aubameyang had just come back from injury, so we weren't sure if he was going to play. And then Arteta switched around his whole team. And I feel like there's a part of it that has to do with the fact that we ended the season in a 3-4-3 formation, beating Man City in the FA Cup final, and it worked at the end. Obviously, we played two big games, Man City, Chelsea, and we beat Liverpool in the league. So for me, Arteta probably said, you know what, that got us through. We won the Community Shield as well. That got us through. Let's just carry on with it and see where we go. And then when we brought in Partey, we went to a 4-3-3, and it didn't help at all. So I think at that point, when it got towards the Chelsea game, it was a sense of we need some creativity in this team, because the reality is 12 goals in 14 games in Premier League is disastrous. Like for a team like us that are trying to get into the top four, that's impossible. There's absolutely no way you could be going less than a goal a game, get into the top four. Like we were losing games, as I said, lost to Burnley, couldn't beat Southampton, Everton. It was like these are games that old school Arsenal should be getting 3 points at. And the form that it turned around into the last 10 games, the 19 goals, this is 10 games. I'm only basing it on the 24 games we played, right? And I had to split it, not in half, but in terms of when things turned around. Because from the Chelsea game till now, we've had 10 games only, and yet we've banged 19 goals in. Do you know what I mean? Conceded 7 goals only. I know there's less games to concede, but we've conceded 7 goals only. And obviously the rest of the form, the rest of the stats have improved. Shots on target has improved, our XG and our XG faced. The only thing that hasn't improved is our shots on target faced. And I think that's probably taking the risk of going more attacking. You probably leave yourself a bit more vulnerable at the back. But we still weren't conceding goals. You know what I mean? We've only conceded 7 goals in 10 games. So, and I think across the season, defensively, we weren't that bad. But it showed for me the lack of signing that our player in the middle, and not playing someone in the number 10 became an issue for us. And I know, Charm, we spoke before a lot about Mesut Ozil and him being not included in the team. How much of an impact do you think it would have been to our season to have a number 10, whether it was Ozil or Smith-Rowe from the start? Because that seemed like that was the detriment of what happened, of where we are now.
Well, I remember having a conversation with you, and I said to you that, look, if you look at Leicester, Spurs, United, City, you can identify the players whose role it is, whose main job it is to create chances within that team. Yeah, De Bruyne and now Gundogan creating and finishing, but it was always De Bruyne at City, Maddison at Leicester, Kane and Son at Spurs. For me, it was not so much a personal issue. I love Ozil. I'll be honest with you. I love Mesut Ozil. But I had accepted Mesut Ozil was not going to be part of this squad. He's not going to play for Arsenal again.
Yeah.
What in that 10-game period, 14-game period, sorry, that you're talking about there, Ramsey, what I didn't get was I couldn't identify the player or the players whose job it was to create for Arsenal. Like, we were joking about how David Luiz was our creative outlet because he was trying to pass between the lines. Do you know what I mean? That was so baffling for me. The fact that he couldn't identify a player to take on that role. If you're going to drop Ozil, have a plan. Do you know what I mean? That was my opinion. If you're going to drop Ozil, have a plan with the players that you have, because you can't sign anybody till January. Whether that be a smith-rowe, whether we turn into even Liverpool. We know that Liverpool's main attacking outlet is their fullbacks, right? If your plan is, listen, we're going to turn into Liverpool, it's a Tierney and Bellerin thing, then boy, that's the plan. Have the players who are making the type of movement in the box that's gonna make that type of football possible. But there was nothing. I couldn't see it. You couldn't see it. Pundits couldn't see it. Opposition didn't have to worry about it because it wasn't there. And yeah, no doubt it had a massive detriment to our season. You can see from the stats, and you could see it watching the games. We were not creating any type of problems for any of the teams that we were playing. We weren't creating problems for them. It was clearly impacting the confidence of the whole squad back to front. And now it's a totally different vibe playing against Arsenal.
Yeah.
Now you know that we can create chances. Now you know that we can score goals. Yeah, I mean, we still have our dud performances. I wouldn't even say yesterday was one of them because we created chances, we just didn't score goals.
Yeah.
I'm not even vexed about yesterday, to be really honest with you. After what I've seen, when I'm seeing 180 minutes of football and it looks like we can't score a goal for Toffee, I'm not even mad about yesterday, to be quite honest with you. So yeah, it's not about number 10. Let's be clear, it's not about number 10. It's not about an individual player, an Ozil or a War. It was about not having any type of creative structure. That was the problem. And we have, I go back to the point of our entire season has suffered for it. Because as good as the last 10 games have been, we have to be realistic and say, we're talking, 10 games, 7 wins, I think it is. That's still good form. We're still on good form, but it hasn't taken us. It hasn't taken us beyond mid-table.
Yeah,
It's brought us absolute madness. To save our season. So it's been detrimental to the point that our season is, barring us going on an absolute mad one, our season's done. If you look at our fixtures, boy, our fixtures coming up will be.
I need to stop you.
I hope we do, but I can't see it.
Bro, how do you pronounce your name? Is it Sharma?
Chama.
I want to ask you a question, bro. Genuine question. Do you feel like we were found out, or do you feel like, because we were playing a back three and we were doing this whole system for the whole end of the season, last season, and the beginning of this season, do you feel like we were found out after that Sheffield United game, or was it the level of opponents that we were playing against were a little bit better in Man City and Liverpool, and we're just a little bit unlucky in those games? Or do you just think it was the Mesut Ozil situation? Because to me, it's a little bit of all three, but which I would say the Mesut Ozil situation was the lowest on the pecking order from those three.
Yeah, I think the Mesut Ozil situation has been overplayed and overhyped. If I'm being honest with you, found out, kind of, but not really. What I think is missing on that list of options is, I don't think we were found out because I don't think there was anything to find out. All of a sudden, we stopped. The way we played against Fulham, we stopped playing like that. Do you know what I mean? We stopped playing fast. We stopped moving the ball. We stopped moving off the ball. Once you stop doing those two things as an attacking force, you can't do anything. And I couldn't explain it. To this day, I don't know if it was.
Did you ever?
It doesn't
think
make sense in my head for it to be a tactical thing. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
Did you
I don't
ever
know if it was a motivational type of thing, but sorry, go on.
did you ever? I'm kind of, it's almost like turning into a Q&A, because as a Arteta in, I just want to know some things that I think might have happened, but I want to see if you think the same way as me. Do you feel like the players ever gave up on the manager? Because in my opinion, I never felt like the players gave up on the manager. I just felt like the manager was asking the players to do stuff that they physically are not or mentally not capable to do at their level.
Yes.
Let me answer this. Let me jump in this question as well. I think, for me, I think that the players, I don't think, gave up necessarily on the manager in terms of going out there on the pitch and not wanting to win the games. I just feel like the setup was wrong for them to do it. We went to Man United at Old Trafford and won at Old Trafford for the first time since Adebayor. That's legendary stuff. Trust me, at that point, I wasn't even worried about Arsenal going forward. I was thinking this is going to be a start or something. Oh, we won at Old Trafford. We beat Chelsea last year. We beat Liverpool last year. We beat Man City last year. Like, I was thinking this is a change in what we always wanted to challenge in a games against the Big Six, right? We always wanted that. We always knew every time we go to Old Trafford, we're gonna hold something, or you know what I mean. In recent years, we've been better, but to go there and get the 3 points, even though the game wasn't great, we went there and we mentally done it. He then played the same team, the same El Neni Partey in the middle against Aston Villa, and we got trounced 3-0. So for me, it's like you played the same players in the exact same positions because you won that last game. It wasn't necessarily because you think that they're the best side to beat Aston Villa, or maybe obviously he did, but they obviously weren't, because we played the same way against a completely different team and we got two different results. And I just feel like they were being told what to do in positions that maybe they weren't necessarily always comfortable with, i.e. three at the back, Tierney playing the left centre back. Wasn't always, Saka, we only found out Saka was a right winger a month ago. Do you know what I mean? And even then, we're not even sure where this kid's going to go because he's so versatile. But
Man
clearly,
City, that's where he's going to go.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. No, don't do that. Why are you?
I mean, listen. But the reality is with Saka, and I want to get onto Saka and Smith-Rowe as well in a second, because
no, they're not going to need him, because they're going to have Messi, and they're going to have Messi, and then after Messi, they're going to go and get the other young guy from Barcelona. What's his name? Ansu Fati. So Barcelona has become Man City's new Southampton. That's what.
How old is Fati? 17, yeah, 18.
Yeah.
Saka's 18. 19, yeah. Messi goes there for two seasons, realistically. Saka's 21. Saka's gone.
As an Arsenal fan, we actually have to be worried about this, because the man is so good.
Listen,
the man is so good.
Now, no, stop it. 270 million. That's how much somebody has to pay today for Saka.
I don't think you know the Kroenkes, bro. They're taking a lot less.
70 and done the deal.
You have to remember, bro. We let man go, Van Persie and Sanchez, because we felt like we needed a little bit of change before they go on the free.
No, that's
wrong. Let me tell you I am with Saka.
We turned down 60 million. We turned down 40 million. We let him go to Manchester United because we had no other options at that point. He wanted to leave. And Manchester United were offering him the bag.
This is my view with Saka, yeah? I swear I'm trying not to fall in love with the boy, because the heartbreak that's about to come, I'm not ready for it. I don't
The thing is, you know what it is? With us, right? We've obviously seen the glories of Arsenal, and we've seen players leave Arsenal just after the glories, the likes of Vieira, Cesc Fabregas. You know what I mean? That we've seen our best players go for such a long time, and that's when we were in a decent position. Right now, we are in such a bad position, and I'm not even talking about right now as in this second right now, but like for the past 3 years, we've not been competing for the top trophies. Now, for the kid himself, Bukayo Saka, I don't want him to have a career personally of just always trying and failing, like how we're talking about Harry Kane. Harry Kane should have bags of trophies in his bag right now, but because his team hasn't been good enough to get him to that level, his love for the club has made him sit at Spurs till he's 28 with no trophies. Now, for me, Saka needs to go on and be winning trophies. Now, if we want to keep him, we've got to build a squad that has him at the center of it, has him as a big part of it, winning trophies. Because if we stay in Europa League or even falling out of the Europa League at the moment as it stands, for the next 2-3 years, why should he stay at Arsenal? You know what I
There's
mean?
a
Why
bigger
should he stay at
issue.
Arsenal?
There's a bigger issue, Rams. That's not the talking point of today. Arteta
No,
is
I
the
heard
talking
it. I
point,
heard
right?
it.
So if Arteta is the talking point, why are we talking about if Saka should be sold? We should clearly be talking about, now that we've gotten rid of a lot of the dead people that we have in our team. No, sorry, they're not dead as human beings. They're dead as footballers, right?
Yeah.
With Socrates leaving, Kolasinac leaving, Ozil leaving, Mustafi's leaving, David Luiz possibly coming back as a player's coach, not actually as a footballer that's going to be playing on the pitch week in, week out. We're going to have a large amount of space in the team to fill that with new talent. This is the most important summer, in the sense, every summer is the most important summer for Arsenal, but this is the most important summer because this is the opportunity where we could do what City did, what Real Madrid do, what other big clubs do. Take the time and then that we have right now, recruit for the summer, and bring in 3 to 4 top quality players, a midfielder, another center back, a right back, and then possibly another forward that can be versatile amongst the forward line. Or you know what, we don't even need a forward. Just focus on a left back, another center back, 2 possible midfield options. That's it, and I'm happy.
With Arteta at the helm.
With Arteta at the helm. You want to know why? Because Arteta is the only person from this whole backroom staff that knows what it takes to get there. Arteta might not be the tactical manager that everyone thinks he is. Arteta might not be the intricate manager who gets into every single detail of the game. But what Arteta might be, he might be the manager that knows what it takes to win things and has certain qualities as a manager that can get it out of a team that has the qualities. Don't forget, Pep Guardiola needed how many changes from his fullbacks and his center backs before he could win his first title? How many players do people usually come into a team and keep that are in their winning side? Look at Klopp. How many players did he keep from his original Liverpool team? Arsene Wenger was lucky he came into a team that just won the league a couple of years ago, and he came in and won it the next year. You know what I mean? But not everyone's that lucky.
Yeah,
we're gonna have to go through a process, and that process that everyone keeps talking about is not, oh, the next season we're gonna be better. The next season we're gonna be better. Every year we're gonna get gradually better. Sometimes you have to take steps backwards to take steps forward.
Yeah, but it depends on how much you're willing to take, how many steps backwards you're willing to take. Because I think most Arsenal fans can understand that this whole process since Arsene Wenger leaving was never going to be easy. We saw what's happened at Old Trafford. We've seen the progress from Fergie to get them back to the title is non-existent, not been non-existent till now. But I feel like every year since then, it's been a backward step. Like Emery was so close to get us in the top 4. Like I'm looking back thinking, we had 6 games. Do we just needed? Well, looking back now, 3 points would have got us in the top 4. 3 extra points would have got us in the top 4. And out of those 6 games, we basically bottled it. Then he had a Europa League final, and then we messed up. Then, like one of those things happening, getting us in the Champions League may have just turned things. Maybe we'll still have Emery now, but him leaving, Arteta coming in. Okay, cool. We write off last season. It was a mess. Emery left. Arteta had to pick up the pieces, and he won us a trophy. Great. I'm happy with that. But how many more steps backwards do we have to take before we get Arsenal back? Because I don't want to be sitting here saying, do you know what? He had a tough season, and we finished 10th. And you know, we got to the quarterfinals of Europa League or semi-finals of Europa League, and we had a good run. And we start accepting that because I've grown up knowing that Arsenal been winning trophies. So this is not even trophies, Premier Leagues. Like do you know what I mean?
Do you want a bandage? Do you want another bandage? Do you want another Emery who comes in who only focuses on improving us for the short term? Arteta is. I genuinely believe the reason why they have Arteta is because Arteta is somebody who they promised you have the right as a manager that's up and coming that we handpicked from Manchester City, that we're going to give you the time to progress with the team and the players and build for the future. They have not given him. They've almost given him. It's kind of ridiculous comparison, but they're giving him the time that Sir Alex Ferguson gave Manchester United at the beginning of his Manchester United career. He went through struggles. Yes, he doesn't have the resume that Sir Alex Ferguson had when he came to Manchester United, winning over there in the Scottish League and everything. But of course, you can draw comparisons. We're a club that is in disarray, that has the financial money to get ourselves back there. We have the cap space now to get ourselves the top quality players, and we have the financial amount to attract those players if we want so. Guess what? If in this summer he goes and gets Jack Grealish, gets Max Aarons, gets you another midfielder like Bissouma, goes and gets a center back and puts them into this team, and goes and gets 3 to 4 starters in this team that can lead us for the future, sells Hector Bellerin, gets rid of Guendouzi and Torreira, and makes a big overhaul in one summer, you could see us push back up into the top 4 just like that. But you need to first have somebody at the helm who can see that vision. And the only person out of the whole team of people, I don't think it's Vivek. What's his name? The guy, Vinay. I don't think it's Vinay. I don't think it's Edu, who's the guy who's leading the helm when it comes to everything. I think it's Arteta, and I think Arteta is the guy who's leading the pack at the club. And at the end of the day, if this does not all come to fruition in the summer, it's his head that I'll be going for, not Edu's.
Okay.
Right. So I hear the whole thing.
Hold on, Tom. Before that, I just want to go for a couple of these. I'll get to in a second. Wilson saying here that the bottom line is Arsenal should have got an attacking midfielder in the summer. No wonder the creative problems cost us there in the first half of the season. We need to be real. That's 100%. I think we're probably looking back now saying that was a big mistake to not even get someone, even like an Odegaard, in at that time. I know he specifically wasn't necessarily available, but you know what I mean? Maybe that was a part of it. He said we should never have been in 15 places. Embarrassing. And Moada says, "Wow, you still believe in Arteta? You're 10th in the league." Go on, Charma, and as you show your point, and as you show your point, do you actually believe going forward that he is someone? Take what you've taken from the start of the season until now. Do you think going forward he can be someone that you can look to take us?
Listen, I'm hearing all this vision talk, and I do believe that Arteta has a big vision for the club. But the fact of the matter is, you need to be getting results on the pitch. Yeah, you could not compare what Man United did with Fergie in 1990 to what any football club is going to do with their manager, especially a big football club is going to do for their manager in 2021. You can't compare it. Ultimately, that's a totally different time in the game. Back then, English football had just re-entered back into Europe. The Champions League wasn't the behemoth that it is now. Missing out on the Champions League for the amount of years that we missed out on the Champions League didn't have that deep financial impact, as well as the impact of the glory of the standing of the club. We're in a totally different era now of football. To me, that comparison, a better comparison is Klopp, where in his first season, because he came in October, so he nearly had the whole season, but it wasn't a whole season. He got to Europa League final, got spanked. Second season, made it to the Champions League. Third season, Champions League final, league. That is real progression. And we could still see the faults in Liverpool. Their third season, we could still see that this was a team that can't defend. We could still see that this is a team that's millions miles away from the title. But that the baseline of progression, this is my problem with what Igal is saying, is that baseline of acceptability of progression on the pitch needs to be higher. Yeah. That's my issue. And unfortunately, that baseline is getting into the Champions League. And Arteta is unlucky. I'll say this. He's unlucky because I don't think there's been a time where there have been as many strong teams going for the Champions League as they are now. Realistically, you can plot 7 teams who should finish in the top 4. But only 4 teams will finish in the top 4 at the end of the day. So Arteta is unlucky. He could have had an excellent season. Take away the 14 game, he could have had an excellent season and finished 7th. And well, I would not turn around and say he's had a bad season. But the fact of the matter is, you need to be getting into that top 4, or failing that, winning Europa and getting into Champions League. There needs to be progression on the pitch, and we are now in a harsher time of football, a more difficult time of football in the Premier League. That on the pitch progress has to be there. It's all good talking about we go get Grealish and Max Aarons and them, man. Why would they come to Arsenal if Arsenal finish 10th?
Yeah.
Like realistically,
Let
there'll
me-
be clubs around them who didn't finish 10th. There'll be clubs around them who can pay as much as Arsenal can, if not more.
Yeah.
Like what? Chelsea.
This is
He's not going to Chelsea.
but this is the
Chelsea
thing.
have
And
Kai Havertz. He's not going to Chelsea. He's not going to Manchester United because Manchester United still have Pogba. He's not going to Man City because Man City
may
has
have,
one
they may not.
option.
They may not have, but the problem is, and especially I want to touch on the Jack Grealish one. I know some are saying there's a lot of the only way Arsenal get Grealish is if Man City and United don't go in for them, and Max Aarons is in the same situation.
That's
And there's
partially true.
probably for especially for Max Aaron, there's probably clubs in Europe, not even just in the Premier League, that are touting him as well. So not only have we got the Premier League battle, sometimes we've got the battle outside of that. But yeah, I'm in agreement in that a little bit, and I understand that like there's a conversation in terms of like obviously we managed to sign players like Thomas Partey, being in the position that we're in the Europa League and stuff like that. People do take steps down from where they are to come to other clubs. People don't always have to take the step up to go to the next level. But it's about for me having not just the ability to bring them in. It's about you got to now convince them. And the same thing was said at the start with the Willian situation. Jack Grealish to come Arsenal has to be believed that Arteta can get Arsenal back to where we are. And he's got to now go from Aston Villa being as great as they've been this season. I mean, Aston Villa may finish above us. Genuinely.
They've done double over us.
Yeah, they've done double over us. Now Jack Grealish will look at that. Let's be honest. If he wants to move, he will look at all options available. And if we do make a bid, I actually genuinely feel we'll only win it if we're the only club that makes a genuine offer to get him to come. Now that could happen. Genuinely, it might be a case of Pep and Ollie and Klopp say, Grealish isn't the man for us, and we end up going for him and getting him. That could happen. But for me, I'm on the wave of the chance of that happening. With a player like that, an English player who meets the quota and everything available, for us to get him would be like, I would be surprised. I'll genuinely be surprised. I'll be surprised if we manage to get him on a long-term deal. And also, I know there was a comment in there from Neeks. I think he said, this transfer market isn't going to be free spending again this year. I can't see it. Like I feel like there will be big. Yeah. There will be transfers in the market, but the summer is not going to be as big as we think, and I just can't see us slapping down that amount of money, even if we do get rid of some players. I think 85 million, especially of what happened with the Pepe situation a couple of years ago. It's what the Cronkies. Knowing the Cronkies, they'll just be like, no, we don't want to spend that sort of money again on someone you can't guarantee us that finish. That's where I'm at with it.
Yeah, I'll tell you something about the Cronkies. What they're doing over in America with the Rams, they're revolutionizing the game. They're basically spending so much money. They're getting banned every year for losing draft picks, and they're just like, I don't care if I get banned. I'm just going to spend the most money in the league to try to win. Where in the Premier League, it's the exact opposite. So I wish they could just take their money out and start spending it. Because if you guys know what they're doing, I
don't think they care. I think they care more about the Rams than they do about Arsenal.
I
it's
can
for
tell.
them. Generally, for them, it's a business. It's a business. They just want to make money.
You know what they're doing at the Rams? It's ridiculous. They're spending so much money every year. They're losing draft picks because they're spending so much money.
But you can tell where you put your money. You put your money where your mouth is, right? And that's clearly where their investment's going. And the thing is, there is a sense of yes, they did spend £70 million on Pepe, and they didn't have to do that. But when they're looking at a return on their investment and they're seeing that, I don't even know if they even know what Pepe's doing. But if they're looking at, they'll look at the end of the season about how much money they're making, and every year we're falling league places, therefore we're losing out money. We're not getting Champions League. We may not even get Europa League, and it's hurting their pocket. That either they want to do something about it and make more money, or they just leave us to rot where we are.
Torn, though. Should we want their other clubs to do well, so maybe they can focus on Arsenal, or is that going to make it worse?
I don't care about their other clubs, man.
I don't care about. This is what I care about. This is what I'm saying. Arteta's the minimum that he needs to achieve on the pitch. Ramsey, you just kind of supported my point there, that if him finishing in lower and lower positions and us getting less and less prize money, not getting the prize money from either of Europe's big two competitions happens or continues to happen, then yeah, obviously the Kroenkes are going to look at that and say, why keep putting money into this?
Yeah,
Arteta does need to push to finish as high as we possibly can if he's going to have any chance of executing his vision. I do believe he's got a vision. I don't think this is a guy who's just flying off the seat of his pants. I think he's got a plan, but he needs to execute on the pitch, find some consistency, and finish as high as possible. For me, fourth is gone, it's done. But finish as high as possible and focus on that Europa League. Put everything he's got into that Europa League. I believe we're in a strong position, not just because of the away goal, but generally how we played. I think we should be seeing off Benfica next week. And it's a cup. Yeah. Once that is done, it's done. Whoever we draw, it's a new tie. Tackle that and move forward. When we got to the final, boy, we had some duds, man. We had some duds on our way to the final. So let's focus on the Europa League. Like I think for me, he's not the man to take the club forward, but I want to be wrong about Arteta. I desperately want to be wrong about Arteta because I can see something in him. Yeah. And go and prove me wrong in it.
Can I show you something, Ryan?
Yeah, hold on. Before you go, I just want to say, guys in the chat, I want to know what you guys think. Do you want him here next season? Do you think it's time to go now, or do you think he's had long enough? We've got some comments in there already. Cam says Mikel out, he's got to go. Amy Beth, big up in the chat saying Arteta out, he's had long enough. Someone's asking, should he be given one more transfer window? Honest opinion. That's what we're doing now, Dashmi. We're going to get into that. We're going to get into now whether he does. So let us know in the chat. Go on, Igal. You can. I'll share this with you now.
So yeah, I was going to do this on my channel, but I'll bring it here. Quick thoughts. Okay. So we're just going to do everything around Arsenal. So first things first, Arsenal, Man City. How much do you think? What do you think the result's going to be? Say. Realistically, 3-1, 2-1. What do you guys say? 2-0.
Go 3-1. Go. Yeah. It's a loss. It's definitely a loss.
So we go 3-1, right?
Right.
Then we go Leicester Arsenal. I'm saying a win. I don't know about you guys.
2-0 Jamie Vardy.
I'm saying draw.
Okay, so can we go in the middle? 2-2.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Next, Burnley. Win away from home.
Cash.
2-0, 2-1.
2-1. Yeah.
2-0, man. That's a clean sheet.
Hang on, we need revenge on that, but I can't believe they beat us at Emirates.
Okay. Arsenal versus Spurs.
Spurs are dead at the moment, you know.
They are, but Spurs and it's Jose. I'm going to say draw. Personally.
Nah, I'm saying we're winning it.
You're saying a win? All right.
But Spurs are so dead right now, man. If you can't beat Spurs now,
I don't know what happened. Yeah, let me just disconnect that. You know what happened? Every time I zoom into something, for some reason, if I go too far to the left, it just changes to the last page that I was on.
We can see it anyway. Share it again. We can see it as it was normally.
Yeah, 1 second. So, okay. So far, what did we do? I just need to I need to put it back in.
Yeah, put it back in. Shane, Man United fan says Arteta in.
I was going to say that's not Arsenal fan there.
Yeah, this is the problem. All the external fans are saying, but it's funny because at the time that we were losing a lot, right? All the Arsenal fans are Arteta out. Everyone else is Arteta in. Now all of a sudden it's gone quiet on both. You can't really hear the Arteta outs anymore. You can't really hear the Arteta ins. It's a bit like
you hear them, but honestly, I choose to ignore some of them because they're
I think they come. Obviously, people that are wild of it will come out when we lose a game. They'll I was always Arteta out.
We got fans calling Arteta openly, saying stuff like he's racist. Like what?
Yeah.
Come on.
whilst our players are getting racially abused.
It gets to a point where it's like, yo, you're saying stuff now just for attention. You're not serious. Okay, so
and yeah,
I
get in the chat
back
and
up.
let us know where. Yeah, get back up. Yeah, it's when it pops. Let us know where you think Arsenal will finish this season. Amy says Arsenal will finish in 8th.
100% agree.
Place. 8th place. You think 8th place?
Yep.
I mean to be careful. This Europa Conference League is this year.
Where we're playing Europa Vanarama.
Did we have a Leicester draw or a Leicester loss? Which one was?
We had a draw.
You there? We had a draw. Yeah.
When are we going to be playing them games?
Burnley won now?
Friday night thing.
What Europa Conference League? I don't know.
Vanarama, bro.
But I can't take it.
I don't know how
the funny thing about Europa Conference League, right, is that if the team that goes into Conference League, first of all, are the League Cup winners. They get the priority. So obviously Spurs, Man City are in the League Cup final, right? So, but obviously, if you finish in the top 6, then you won't go into your Conference League. You obviously go into Europa League or Champions League. So it's in Spurs' hands, really. If Spurs win Europa Conference League and then fall off in the league, if Spurs win the League Cup and say they got their trophy for the season and then fall off in the league, then it could be theirs.
Okay, so next, guys.
Yeah. Arsenal Spurs we're at, yeah. I said draw, Chalmers said win.
You said draw?
It's on you. I said draw, Chalmers said win. You said win, okay.
We tend to beat them. We tend to beat them in these kind of situations. So I'll go 2-1.
At home we're better, yeah. But this whole crowd thing, I don't know.
Okay. I just need to get these adverts out of the way because they're everywhere in the video.
We got Tin for Arsenal, a new subscriber. Thank you for coming up. Thank you for coming here and subscribing. Make sure you guys, if you're new around here, hit that subscribe button and give us some likes as well. Smash that like button for us, please. Thank you.
What are we doing against West Ham?
Cam says we'll finish in 12th place.
What are we doing against West Ham?
Wilson says 7th. West Ham. I think we'll beat West Ham.
I think it's a draw, to be honest.
Look at how mad this is. Look at how mad this is. I haven't inputted anything yet. If I press calculate from the games that we've just put right now, let's see how much we move in the table. This
is obviously without no one else playing, right?
This is with no one else playing. We move into 4.
It gets us 44 points.
And that's how many games? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if we were 5 games in hand, then we would easily get top 4 at this point. That's how far behind we are.
Yeah.
Okay. And so moving into week 30, and we're on 40-something points, versus Liverpool at home.
No idea. Depends on what Liverpool turn up.
I say 1-1 draw,
But hold on, listen. We can do this until game 38, and I get what you're trying to do. But we've already encountered the problem there.
I just want to see the stats. I just want to see how many points.
We can see the stats, yeah. But the problem is everyone else is playing as well. Chelsea are on the up now.
Do you want me to put their games in too? We could do that.
Nah. Easy.
That's why I just want to see how many points we're going to be on. And once we see how many points we're going to be on, we're going to say to ourselves, realistically, how many points...
I can say how many points I think we're going to get this season.
Okay.
Honestly, I think we're going to get between 56 and 58. That's what I think we're going to get.
Okay. I'm just going to do this quicker, guys, because it's going to take forever. I'm just gonna put 1-0 wins versus the teams that I think we're gonna beat, and the teams that I think we're gonna draw against. Everton, for example, 1-1.
Cam says he thinks that we'll fluke the Europa League. You can't fluke the Europa League, surely, now.
You can't.
Yeah, you can.
Nah,
Sevilla,
if you win the Europa League, it's not a fluke.
It's not,
because
Sevilla have never fluked the Europa League. They take it seriously, bro.
Yeah, exactly. This is the thing. People who take the Europa League seriously end up doing well in it.
If you're good, you need to be take it seriously and be good.
Yeah, if you're a level. But the problem is the good thing is that because it's not the Champions League, for example, that the teams to beat are not obviously at the level. So you can we should be beat Benfica. That's an old school Champions League group game. Battle for the second place in the Champions League.
64 points. At the end of the season,
I don't even think we're going to get that.
That would be 12 losses. That's exclude everybody else in the league, guys. We're just looking at Arsenal right now.
Yeah.
This is realistically, this is the best I could come up with the remaining games left. If you can see
That's
that.
the best that we're gonna get at max from it for me, and even then, we're Arsenal, so we'll throw in a couple of mad ones.
Trust me, bro.
We'll throw in a couple of mad ones, and I just don't think that's good enough to get anywhere near. I don't think that's good enough to get anywhere
It's good
near.
enough to get near. Didn't Chelsea finish on 60 points last season?
Yeah.
I'm gonna do a whole breakdown video on my channel eventually.
Liverpool are on 40 right now, yeah. And there's 15 games to go.
Yeah.
Nobody outside of Manchester City, nobody's playing like they want either the title or top 4.
Yeah.
That's where 65 points might be possible.
Chelsea got so last year, Man United and Chelsea finished level on 66 points, and that was third and fourth place. That was third and fourth place.
Forget it then.
Leicester got 62.
So in this run, I had us losing to Chelsea, drawing against Everton, and pretty much winning every single other game, except for the Man City Liverpool games.
All right, Neeks, calm down, bro.
And that's how I got us to 64 points. Is 64 points realistic even? At this point, do we have to lower our standards from 64 points? Because how many games have we played right now? How many games have we lost right now at this point?
We lost 10.
We've lost 10. So that's only 2 more losses for the remainder of the season. How many draws do we have right now?
That's not going to happen. We're going to lose more than 2 games. We're going to lose more than 2 games. And in fact, we could lose the next 2 games. Easily.
What's the next 2 games?
Leicester and Man City. And then Tottenham.
And then Tottenham after that.
Nah, we got a game in between.
West Ham.
Early in between then.
Oh man, yes, this is the thing, and do you know what it is? It's easy to look at the games. Listen, I've been trying to predict every result for the rest of the season. At the moment, I've got Arsenal about 5-6 points more than where they should be. I'm trying to get accurate on it. It's so hard because we throw in a win against Man United when no one expects it, and then we lose to Burnley, and then we lose to like 2 games after being such a good run. We lose 2 games in a row to Villa and Wolves. I know, referee, you could say is part of that, but it's just like it's so hard to predict us because we're so unpredictable. Like we should never be in 10th place in terms of the games that we're playing, but we played so bad in them that we're in this position. Like the one thing I say, the Premier League table don't lie in it. You are where you are, but because that's how bad you've been, and we have been the 10th best team in the league. So, but Egal, I want to ask you, where do you actually think that we'll finish the season? Put your realistic hat on, and put on your tell me where you're gonna think Arsenal will finish.
Bro, I honestly don't think we're gonna finish any higher than 8.
I hear that.
You know why? Because look at it this way: with more than 16 games left, what is that? No, 10 games almost left. No, 12 games left. Right? 12 games left in the league season. Right? In order for us to get to 5th, we need to have a swing of what? Holy 8 points. We need an 8-point swing. Can you see us picking up 8 points against West Ham and all these guys? Man City, Leicester, Tottenham. It's just a headache, bro.
And it's not just that. It's the fact that we are 10th place below Spurs, Villa, Everton, Liverpool, West Ham, and Chelsea. And that's the amount that we've got to climb to get anywhere into Europe. It's not just the fact that we've got those games to come. It's the fact that the teams above us have still got a game or 2 in hand on us as well. And this is the problem. Every time we win, I look again and I look at the league and think, yeah, we're on a run. And then we see the team above us have got a game in hand. They win it, and then they just.
We could catch Liverpool, but we're never going to catch top 4.
Yeah, you're nuts, bro.
You're crazy.
You're nuts.
Nah, Liverpool's only 2 games ahead of us. We could catch them with the injuries and everything that's going through them.
Them
but
2 games are. But they're 2 big games. They're 2 massive games ahead of us. It's not like they're 2 games ahead of us.
From the top 6, we can catch 2 teams. The other four teams are the other three teams are gone.
I'm looking at this right now, and the only teams I can see us realistically catching and overtaking are Tottenham.
Yeah, because they're 2 points ahead of us. Yeah.
Not because they're 2 points ahead of us, but because they're playing absolute cack at the moment.
I actually think we can finish above. I actually think we can finish above West Ham, Everton, and Aston Villa.
Why do you think we finish above West Ham, Everton, and Villa?
But I'm basing it on who they are, and West Ham have the potential to go and lose the next 5 games. They've got that, and they got tough. The next 5 games are tough. They got Spurs, City, Arsenal, and Liverpool, I think. So they've got like a tough run coming up. So I don't think West Ham will be there at the end of the season. I don't. I think we can finish above them, and because of man, the rumors are apparently tonight that Grealish has got an injury that could have him out for 5 weeks. If that's true, I don't know if it is, but if that's true, I think Aston Villa are in problems. Everton are sometime-ish. Like sometimes they go up, they go down. So if I'm being honest, I think we can finish above them, but then that puts us 1, 2, 3 into 7th. But that's me being generous. And I'm saying we can finish above Spurs because we could, but then again, Spurs have the capability to go on a run as well because of how good they are.
Let all these teams get Europe next year. They're going to see how tough it is to play midweek and in the Premier League. And then they're all going to fall down back to reality. You know what's going to happen? If Jack Grealish stays, his price is going to drop down to like 70 to 80 million. And we're going to be able to get him at a cut price in a year's time. If that's what Aston Villa, West Ham, Everton want to do, I don't think they'll be able to survive Europe and midweek and play well. Everton, don't forget, just a couple of years ago, they were still in the Europa League and they were struggling in the league.
Yeah. I mean, listen, next season is what it is, and then maybe it will benefit us not having European football next year, having to just play, a full 38-game season without having to travel to these mad places and play on Thursdays, Sundays. And I know we don't necessarily play the first team squad, but not having to just do any traveling, just be able to focus game by game, could benefit us. The problem is, how long has he? For me, right? Let's just say we don't finish in Europe this year, right? We're going to next year without any sort of European football. There's no excuses next year. There's literally no excuse. If Arteta's still there, he gets another window, which bear in mind is his 4th, I believe, his 4th window, because he had January last year. I know, obviously, with COVID and stuff, he didn't get to get everyone he wants, but this will be his 4th window. For me, there's absolutely no excuses. And if he has a run anywhere near to he had last year, he could go before the year's out, to 2021, before the year's out.
Yo, if we beat City, we're comfortably getting top 6. Because the momentum from beating City.
No way. We are
No. The momentum from beating City, bro. You're covering your faces, guys. Hear my logic. If we beat City, the momentum that could put us over, and the amount of confidence we can gain off that kind of performance, if we do get a performance on Sunday, I'm painting a picture which could propel us into greatness. That's the only way we can get back into saving the season. If we lose to City dramatically in a fashion of a hockey score, it will completely end our season, and Europa League will get knocked out.
Nah, I disagree. Whatever happens against Man City, I think we're still going through against Benfica.
In 1995, we lost, 16, 17 matches, the chat's saying. But it's different, man. It's different, man. It's just different. It's easier saying 1 year.
But we're talking about managers. George Graham lost his job. I know it wasn't for on the pitch. It was... Do you know what I mean? He had his hand in the cookie jar, but end of the day, that manager lost his job.
What Eddie was doing.
And that manager was a club legend.
Yeah,
exactly. He was comparable to Arteta because he was a player who came back as manager. He's the last person to do it before MIKEL Arteta.
What about Bruce Rioch? Emery.
Yeah, Emery's Bruce Rioch, bro.
Yeah, well, so he's saying Arteta's the Wenger then? Oh, we're getting backwards to George Graham.
Nah. Spit that out of your mouth, mate. Never say that again.
Arteta could be the stopgap or he could be the solution. We don't know yet, but I'm willing to give him the time to find out, unlike some people.
In my opinion, I think Arteta is the one before we get. And I don't want to speak bad of him personally. Like, I do want him to do well, obviously, but I just feel like he's that one.
If the Premier League trophy is here,
the one.
Yeah.
if the Premier League trophy is here, and you have like the man who's standing up, the man who's taking a step closer, the man who's about to grab it, and the man who's lifting it, which one do you think he is?
Say that again.
You know that picture of the guy who's taking a step closer to the Premier League trophy, about to carry it? They did one recently about Oli and all the Manchester United managers. Where do you think Arteta is in this cog? For Charms, I think you think he's way away from that. I literally think he could be the guy who could lift the trophy for us if we give him the correct players.
I'm not seeing the consistency on the pitch.
Yeah, I don't think he'll do it. I don't think he'll get through against. And I'm basing this also not just on him and the team. I'm also basing it on the fact that there are teams like Man City and Liverpool in this league, and Chelsea with the funds to just go bam, 200 mil like Chelsea did in the summer and get them up. Arteta doesn't have that luxury, so he's got to actually build a whole squad to get us there. And I just don't think he'll be able to do that. I could see him potentially getting us into the Champions League, but like right now as it stands, it feels far fetched. Yeah, for me, he's at the bottom.
You seen that?
Yeah, I don't see him near it, and I don't see him near it. The Premier League, personally.
I'm not sure he's in the picture, to be honest with you.
I think hypothetically, all the managers from Arsene Wenger till now will be in the picture. It's just how are they represented in the picture?
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna wrap it up in a second. Guys in the chat, Devo's in the chat saying he reckons we'll finish 7th or 8th. Hala Madrid is a Real Madrid fan. He's desperate for us to buy Dani Ceballos. Don't worry, bro. He doesn't want him. He doesn't want him at all. Always tells me to buy Dani Ceballos. But listen, we're gonna wrap it up. Arteta going forward. Obviously, we said where we think he's gonna finish in the season already. Obviously, I know we had the disappointing result yesterday, in the Europa League. Do you think Arteta can win the Europa League this season? Do you think that's a realistic achievement for him to do? And if it does, where does that leave him, Agal?
I put my answer in the chat, so you can bring that up. and let me explain why. Could you ask the question again so I can articulate myself while I'm answering the question?
I remember what I asked now. So do you think Arteta will win the Let's start that again. Do you think Arteta will win the Europa League this season with Arsenal? And yeah, let me just end it there. Yeah.
No, I thought you meant, do you think Arteta will win a major trophy with Arsenal? That's what I thought.
No, I'm talking currently. I'm talking this season right now.
Okay. This season we're not winning anything. We're not winning anything this season unless we go on a mad run of form to win the Europa League, or we go on a mad run of form to get ourselves back into the picture for top 4 or top 6. There's no way we're winning a major honors this season. What we can do is we can progress to win a major honors the following seasons. That's what we can do. If you give Arteta everything he needs in this coming summer to progress the squad, we can push ourselves back into the top 4, top 6 picture next season, and possibly win a major honor next season. But to be honest, I don't think there's going to be anything we can do this season.
Charmer, do you think he could win the Europa League?
He can. All it needs is one leg of one tie for the performance to be mad and the confidence to build. We've got, I believe, the players and the squad, if we focus on it and take it game by game, to potentially do it. My opinion is, more often than not, the best team in the Europa League wins the Europa League, and I don't think that best team right now is Arsenal. And that's the big problem. I think he can. I think we can win the Europa League. I think we are. I'm not writing it off. I would say we probably have a 45-ish% chance of winning it, in my opinion. And if he wins it, if he does win it, I'm gonna say give him everything he wants in the summer, everything he needs in the summer. Yeah. To me, he still won't be the man to take us to win the Premier League. I don't even think he'll be the man to get us back into the Champions League necessarily. But what I think he would have done is would have deserved that chance to do it. He would have deserved that chance to execute his vision.
If he wins the Europa League, he goes down. He will go down as the manager that this club will depend on to bring us back to greatness. Because if he gets us into the Champions League with this squad, believe me, the level of investment we will spend. Oh, I would love to see it.
I'd love to see it, just not with Arteta, to be honest with you. But if
the man wins you FA Cup and Europa League, you still want him sacked.
No, this is what I'm saying. I won't believe in him, but he still deserves that chance. Me personally, if I was in a Dude's position, I'd say safe, dust, but he would deserve that chance. Realistically, I think we're going to finish about 8th or 9th, 7th at best.
What does he need to do to change your mind?
Show me some consistency in the league.
Yeah, see for me, I don't think we'll win in Europa League this year. At the start of the season, I had some hope. I don't see the consistency that we had at the start, like going through. I don't think we can go throughout our Europa League campaign, even from now to the final, and be consistently good enough to win it. But yeah, I mean, there's a chance. Obviously, we're in it, and it's not like it's the Champions League. But I just don't think we're going to be good enough to win it. But as I said, again, I'm agreeing with Charma. If he does, you can't literally. He's got us back in the Champions League, and he said he would do, and you can't fault that, and you kind of have to just give him what he needs. I kind of feel like there's Cam's, I think, said it in the chat. Cam said he wants to sack him, but who was it? Someone said it in the chat. Yeah, Mo would have said it. Like, I think we just need to just, and me and Charma say it every year, but you need to forget the Prem. You need to just forget the Prem and just go for it, man. Like, genuinely, like, and I'm not saying play like the Runnison or whatever in the league or whatever, but like when Jose won the Europa League, he dashed away the Prem. He didn't care. It was all about winning the Europa League, and I don't think you can realistically go the same path for both. Try with every game to the end of the season. Like, sometimes you've got to make sacrifices, and I think we have to now. This is our best chance of getting into top. We ain't getting top 4. So this is our best chance of getting Champions League. For me, he's got to go all out, and I'm even saying City. Whatever happens on Sunday at City, but make sure that best squad you play is on Thursday nights. That's where I'm at.
If we get to a quarterfinal, I honestly don't want to see Saka on the weekends, bro.
Yeah.
If we get to a quarterfinal, I don't want to see Saka on the weekends. I don't want to see Tierney when he comes back on the weekends. I don't want to see Partey on the weekends. That's Thursday night gang. That's my personal opinion.
The only person I want to see on the weekends is Aziz. I mean, weekends is Aziz and young guys that can improve us going forward in the future. Give those guys a chance against some of these dead teams.
Yeah, I agree. I don't necessarily think like the Williams of this world should be guaranteeing their starts. But even like the Martinellis, like, do you know what I mean? He's not really getting the game time at the moment as well. Give him the Premier League opportunities to play in those games and earn your place in the main squad, which should be the Europa League squad, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I just hope Arteta has that mindset, because I think if he doesn't, there's absolutely no way we're winning Europa League, in my opinion. I think if he just thinks we can just play the first team every week and just get away with it, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. We need to be realistic about that.
No, but that's what cost us top 4 under Emery. That's why Emery's approach to it was kind of
but the difference is that Emery had a chance of getting top 4, and he fluffed it. And
Emery
we should have got top 4.
Away. We should have got top 4.
Well, yeah, it was 1 game away. He was 6 games away. All the way down. He was 6 games down to 1 game away. Like, he had chances to get us into the top 4, but he messed up. Arteta has no chance to get us into the top 4, in my opinion. So, well, I don't, in most people's opinion. So, and we've all agreed we think we'll finish 8th, thereabouts. So, for me, forget that. Forget what's happening in the Premier League now. Save your own season, and deliver what you can in the Europa League. But listen, guys, it's been a good chat. I'm gonna end it there. Maybe we'll catch up again towards the end of the season and see if Arteta can deliver us that Europa League trophy. But right now, I'm not feeling that. I'm not feeling that he will. Guys, please make sure you smash that like button on your way out. And if you're new around here, as Tin4 did, please hit that subscribe button as well. Thank you all guys in the chat as well for getting involved. Definitely catch us back here for some more match previews and match reviews, and the Neeks Sports podcast as well. Yeah, thank you all for joining. Saying thank you for Charmart and the gal. Go check them out on Twitter. Links are in the tweet that we tweeted out earlier on. And yeah, we'll see you all very, very soon.
That's
Peace.